Well, good morning and welcome to day 3 of Nanowrimo. This has been probably one of the oddest beginnings to Nanowrimo that I've ever had, and the latest start. I usually start writing at midnight as soon as possible on November 1st, and this time trying to do this project has led to my having to delay that. All of Sunday was spent, getting things taken care of, but also seeing whether or not I could logistically handle an additional project and what that would look like, because I intend to keep up with my other uploads onto Wattpad and other places. I've got a couple of anthologies I want to submit to, plus there's a law firm, plus there's tutoring and life and all of those wonderful things. So that was Sunday, and then Monday, when first of all, it turned out Monday was invoicing day, which always takes a significantly long time to complete. No matter how much I prep for it, it always takes forever. And then I couldn't get the camera and the screen capture to work, and so I kept doing tests, and it was funny because Sunday I thought I got all the tests done. No. I did get them done, but you never know what all is going to go wrong until you do it for a longer period. And I discovered many things could go wrong. So obviously a little bit of a later start, but that's okay. We'll get started and caught up. I already calculated up, even though the average NaNoWrimoer only needs to write 1,667 words per day approximately. There's going to be several days when I will not be able to record what I'm working on, so I won't be able to work on it. So my modified word count is 2,500 words per day. So let's go ahead and get started on this project. I saved everything for you guys so that you can see just what this looks like. I was working on this is a sequence keying right here. I'm going to just go over here and start setting up. Alright. So most of the time I do 2 books whenever I'm starting a novel or a series. Go. This will be for the novel itself, and this next one is where I put my story Bible. Now the story Bible is truly my secret to succeeding. I couldn't bounce back and forth between so many different novels if I didn't have tools like this available. Now I apologize, there's going to be some lag. Hopefully the synchronization isn't off. But the reason that even though technically, I will point out, Scrivener is set up so that you can do a lot of the world building and such in a single novel. However, I tend to write very long stories, and the worlds often become quite involved, and sometimes they span multiple books. It becomes a series and an interconnected world and so on. So it just works better to have a completely separate file for the novel itself, and then another one for the story Bible, which includes the world building and such like that. And in Tura, all of that is in one single book, and then each individual novel has its own place, and it's the same thing with Lunar Realms. So this is pretty much good to go. I just add in a few more of these. Oops. then I'll come up with a little title for this, but I actually will just be using plain chapter 1, chapter 2 for these. It seems to work pretty well that way. Now let's slide over here to the story Bible itself. Now, as I pointed out before, this is mostly set up for this novel. This is going to be fun. I'm going to be doing all of it live, but I am going to be basing it partially off of a couple things. I had some I usually have story dreams is what I call them, where I get these great story ideas and such that then I incorporate into stories. Also, before I forget, there's a very good chance that these sessions will be interrupted. There will be multiple stopping points because I am still here. This is our home office, and so even though I got most everything that had to be done right away taken care of, there can still be phone calls, visitors, such like that, and so I will sometimes be stopping just randomly and then reconnecting. But coming back here, let's get started on this. I'll show you the cover. This is the cover. Actually, my father was designing a cover for Ragnarok Unravels, and he really didn't. This was actually supposed to be Loki and Sopa, and he was not happy with how it came out, and through a glitch accidentally flipped this chamber upside down and added butterflies. He was trying out a new feature, and it was really funny, and he was going to just delete it, and I told him, no, I want that cover. I will make a book work. And so I went out and I was just racking my brain for this title, and so that's when I needed something flexible, and I've had a couple stories that it might have worked for, and I've had this particular idea kind of floating around in my mind for a while, and then I decided, okay, this is going to be the time when I do this story. So it's Escaping Nowhere. Obviously this tells me there's going to be a little bit of romance in there, but I have no clue how all of this is going to work through. I mean, maybe I have some ideas, but your guess is about as good as mine. Alright. In our story Bible, we've got things like characters are already set up. Now, I know for certain there are going to be about, let's see, how many characters do I know for certain? It's going to be more than that, but we're going to start with this. Let's see. I can find my... What did I do with that? Oh, here it is. I love computers, obviously, but I also really like having notebooks. And one of the things that I regularly do is to collect names that I think are interesting so that I can add them in or use them in a story. Alright, so this is one of those. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a list of names. It's boys' names and girls' names of that I want to use in a story at some point. Now, my protagonist, I am doing a woman. She is probably going to be in her mid-30s because she's a doctor and a linguist. Okay. These are the things I do know about her that have to be so. Now, actually, her name. I have some of these. Like, at one point I wanted to consider naming her Lenore. Yes, that's a completely a reference to the Raven. I don't think that it works very well for this story. I think it's a little bit too on the nose. So So actually, here's what I'm going to do for this. Most of the time, I just start sketching this out on paper, but you guys wouldn't be able to see what it looks like. So I'm going to start looking over the names that kind of catch my eye for this character. I'll go ahead and put that up there. Okay, so these are some of the names that kind of stick out to me for this character. I love uncovering characters' names because it often reveals so much about them. What we name our children reveals just as much about us as what we hope for them. So I'm automatically going to take out Lenore. Like I said, that's just a little bit too on the nose. I think there might be another way to work the name in, because it is a beautiful name. Now then, Sparrow just doesn't sound quite right, and I'm going to automatically think of Jack Sparrow. Zoraida. That is a Spanish name. I really like it. So we'll leave that there. Pandora, considering what I see happening in the story, that's going to be way too on the nose, just like Ophelia, which I didn't put on there, but I have way too many J names already. Now, I really like Tempest. It's a very modern name, and I sort of want this story to have a timeless feel, but it's also going to be a little bit of a fish out of water mildly, and my protagonist, she is definitely a modern woman, and that's pretty good. Cara Mariella. All right, I think we're gonna do Tempest. She's the oldest child. And actually, I need to make sure I do this component. This will just make it easier later on. Put in the basics, just doing categories. That way. Okay, this program will automatic recording for about 12 minutes. So, a lot more breaks than I end up. Let's get back to you guys. Figure out my connections. Movie. Parents are dead. Tempest will be the booby character. The story feels very much like one narrator. I'm actually pretty sure I know what girl. As soon as I heard this name, I knew something with it. This name is actual. It means that tells me that interesting family. I'm not going to reveal guys because I want you to be. But here. Okay, so actually I've discovered what it is. Apparently pressing the end key, which I frequently do, will stop the recording. It may have an automatic time, but 12 minutes is an odd time to automatically cancel. So, I'm going to have to get over that habit, otherwise I'll be making my own interruptions. Anyway, coming back here to Hethel, this is what I know from her based off of the story already. As it is in my mind, obviously there's going to be more. Oh, I almost forgot this one. That. I'm not sure. We'll figure out some of these now then. Let's see. This is just where I will go and then update the story as time goes by so that I have a ready-made outline and I can go back to it and refer to it. This is the longer summary. This is the blurb, and that's obviously just a paragraph or two. And this is the hook, which will be a single sentence, which I don't have yet. I usually do a fair bit of writing. And this is the glossary. Here we go. So I've decided that I will be making up a country for this particular story. There have been some very definite countries and global situations that have been informing this, and I'll be actually drawing on a lot of research that I previously did. Let's see, I'll show you. When I was here, so I will be drawing off of a lot of these papers and documents and creating this country. Some of the information's a little bit old, as you can see, and this sort of thing actually kind of influences a lot of my writing, so I will be continuing to use that. So this means I won't have to do quite as much current research in this, plus it's going to be a fictional country, but the culture that I'm creating is going to be a fusion of southern Sudanese culture, Iraqi culture, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, and Romania, as well as a few others. They're all going to be coming together, so I'm going to Now I'll go down here to actually create my subcategories. This will be the this is where I keep track of potential issues, problems. They will crop up. They always do. And then, oh yes. So, let's see. I think I've got everything set up here for, yes, for the story Bible. It's pretty much ready to go. I'll start playing around and developing additional. I'll have to be developing it a lot more, but I'm going to end this video now, and then I will start working on the oh, there's a cat. Oh, hello, Loki. Didn't mean to kick you. I'm going to finish this video, send it off, and then I will get the summary, where I'm working on the blurb and the summary put up. So, alright, talk to you all later.